found a Tridentine Mass, and they knew Father Boldick. But we drove down from Chicago. We left from Hillside, and we went through St. Louis, and we went to the St. Louis Arch, which that was kind of nice, and we went to Lincoln's home in Springfield or something like that. It was on the way to St. Louis, and I broke down on the way there. I think that was the trip I broke down. And I had that dusty blue, it was a blue car, I don't remember what it was, a Ford? But it was blue, and the power steering went out on it, and they had it fixed pretty fast. It wasn't real expensive. I paid for it. It wasn't a big deal. They fixed it while we ate lunch. It happened like 3 or 4 hours after we left town. After we left. They fixed it. We were back on the road in an hour or two. I mean, it wasn't a problem at all. And then we went to this, I think it was a Sorrowful Mother Shrine, or some kind of a Marian shrine. It was south of St. Louis. We went to that, and then we spent the night somewhere. None of the motels were expensive, though. They were like $17, $19. Nothing was expensive. And we stayed at a motel in Mt Ida, and it was just a little place. Looked like privately owned, maybe, or something like that. It wasn't a Motel 6. And I think we stayed there one night. And I remember walking down the road, and it was kind of a drop-off. It was kind of a hilly area, and there was like a drop-off along the road, like a steep hill. But I didn't really have enough time to do much, because I didn't want him to. That was his trip. Didn't really. I was able to buy a few things. You need a lot of time to look for crystals. You need a whole day to do anything. But I went to some of the places in town there. And there was one place where there was a pile that I looked through for a little while before it got dark out, and then we went to bed, the motel. I don't know if that motel's still there or not. None of it might be the same now. It's been so long. It might all be under new ownership now. Because people die. I mean, people grow up and die and sell things. But I remember I got amethyst for like $5, and it was a great big, it was Brazilian. The guy, it seemed like the place was going out of business. It was a great big cluster. I put it in the wall, and I didn't know that you couldn't put amethyst in the wall. It's bleached, kind of. It's not real bad, but it kind of lost some of its color. And people were breaking into my place and throwing the rocks around, so I put them in the wall. I had kind of a collection of rocks. I put all my childhood rocks in the wall after that, because I didn't want somebody to take them. Because the house was kind of, it was empty at times. I mean, I was living with the marshes. Oh, here's where the road ends. So, 279.1 miles, and it's 138. I guess we better slow down. Somebody got pulled over for speeding. They had some of this in the video where it was 2 lanes, and you could see where they were building the 4-lane part. We're probably going to go by it yet. Yeah, there's somebody opening their car door right into the road. Jeez. This is not a good place to pull someone over at all. Well, when we're at 300, we'll be a third of the way there. Then we'll have 600 miles to go. I'm at 280.1 miles right now. So when I'm at 450, I'll be halfway there. And that'll be in Missouri a ways. But I always wanted to go back there, but I knew it was kind of far. I didn't have any money back then. You know, I could have never gone down there by myself back then. And then we went to Florida too. I think we went to Florida for the second trip. And that was a nice trip too. I think we had more fun on that one. We went to Mobile, Alabama. The trip was originally going to be just to Mobile, Alabama, and then come back. And we went to the Space Museum near Coleman, Alabama. And we went to a mass there, Tridentine Mass. And we were going to just go to the Gulf Coast. And we saw that. And Bob says, call Bob and call his nephew or whatever and see if we can go to Florida, St. Petersburg. So I called Bob to get permission because he was his guardian. And he says, yeah, you can go. So we spent 3 days in Florida. That was nice. We went to the Sunken Gardens. We went to the pier. We took 27 to the Florida. And then we came back through Alabama again. I remember I left my wallet at a restaurant, and they sent it to me. They sent it to us somehow. At the next hotel, they had it for us. I don't know how they did that, but they sent my wallet. I realized what happened. And they sent our wallet to the motel where we were going to spend the next night. I don't know if we had those all planned out or what, but so they sent the wallet. It wasn't too bad of a thing. Then, if that wasn't enough, I ran out of gas in Indianapolis on the way back. It wasn't a real bad thing, but it was just a stupid thing. We weren't held up for very long, but I was on the loop going around Indianapolis, and I ran out of gas. It was just a boneheaded thing. This is back in the 90s. I didn't make any mistakes like that on the Arkansas trip. He didn't mind. I mean, it didn't create a problem or anything like that. I mean, the only thing we had happen on the Arkansas trip is that the power steering went out on me. And I had to have that fixed, but that wasn't that bad either. It wasn't expensive. I had the money, and I didn't have that much money back then. And we were right back on the road in almost no time. I mean, we ate lunch while they fixed the car, and nobody suffered on account of it or anything like that. I mean, some things, if you break down, they might not have the part. And you might be stuck there for a day or two. Especially on a weekend. I don't know if it was a weekday or not. Probably was a weekday, but hard to say. I think I remember this town. And they're going to put the road around this town. It's going to kill the town. when they do that.